Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about the results for the Martinsville spring race for Cup, Xfinity and trucks. Obviously, yes, I am back from Albert Park, and I'm going to try and put up the vlog, but it'll be very difficult, very time consuming, so just bear with me, be patient please. But let's, so before we get to Martinsville, let's talk about the next race, which is Bristol Motor Speedway Dirt. So obviously this event was last year was the inaugural race for this event, and this is gonna be the second one, and I think it'll be a night race rather than a day race. Which the day race was a bit of clumsy a clumsy race because the dirt was just too much and the drivers couldn't really see properly. So yeah, so it is only for Cup and trucks. I think it might be the only time that Cup and trucks are like with each other, not Cup and Xfinity. But I might be wrong. But Friday, April 15th will mainly be practice for trucks and Cup. So the trucks, so the first one will be trucks. First practice at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time, and at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time will be the Cup Series first practice. Then it'll be the final practice for trucks and for the Cup and trucks. The trucks it'll be on 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Cup Series will be on 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday. So we got for so it's mainly the qualifying, so the 4 heat races. So I think I don't know how many races. I think that's 6. I think the top 6. I think of the drivers will be in the main event or something. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. I think it's gonna be working like last year, but the Cup and Trucks qualifying for heat races. So it'll be 4 heat races in total. The trucks that will start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then the Cup will start on 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the truck race for the Pinty's truck race on dirt, that will start on 8 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1, MRN, and Sirius XM. And on Sunday, April 17th, it will be the Cup Series for the running of the Food City Dirt Race at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox, PRN, and Sirius XM. And you can also watch the press pass if you really want to. But that is Bristol Dirt. Let's now move on to the results of first off for the Truck Series, and that was won by William Byron. And it's also Spy Motorsports' first ever win as a Truck Series team in their inaugural season, which is very, very impressive. Second place is Johnny Sauter, who this is the first race in the number 13 Thor Sport Racing truck. Then Kyle Busch, John Hunter Nemechek, Ben Rhodes, Chandler Smith, Matt Crafton, Grant Finger, Zane Smith, and Tyler Ankrum ran out the top 10. Then Ty Majeski, Christian Ecke, Stuart Friesen, Derek Kraus, Matt DiBenedetto, Parker Kligerman, Carson Hocevar, Colby Howard, Haley Deegan, and Lolos Allen ran out the top 20. Failed to qualify due to qualifying being rained out, so there's obviously 2 drivers which obviously did not qualify because there was no owner points. That would be Justin Carroll and Jake Garcia. Jake Garcia was running a third McCann Hegelman racing truck, and is it Justin Carroll? I think it's Justin Carroll. He was running a truck at I don't know. I think it's called like Carroll Racing or something. I can't remember. But the surprising one, even though Johnny Sauter should have not qualified, but I mean he did for some reason. It was Blaine Perkins. Blaine Perkins did not qualify due to metric systems. So CR7 had to set out for this race, which surprises me. But either way, to the rear, only one driver went to the rear, and that was Ty Majeski. He went to the rear due to a change of battery last minute, basically. So he had to go to the rear. But lap 8, Chris Rice spins, makes contact with Jack Wood. Lap 14, Dean Thompson is slow and catches on fire. Here's something I will show on screen. Lap 33, Johnny Sauter walls Haley Deegan. Johnny Sauter was kind of just a bit of a hothead in Martinsville. I think if you remember, I mean, I was scrolling through Twitter, and I think who was it, Jim Sauter? I think Jim Sauter Sr. or Tim Sauter Sr. I can't remember. Sauter Sr. I know that. But he was, basically defending his son on Twitter, and he also called a fellow NASCAR YouTuber, Danny B Talks, great guy, just want to say great YouTuber. He basically called him fat on Twitter, and so I'm very confused on why he did that. I mean, obviously he was trying to defend his son, but I mean, you don't really go out on Twitter and call someone fat. That's kind of a chicken shit move, I'll be honest, and kind of a stupid move as well. But I mean, sort of ran fine. I mean, he also apologized after the race about the context. At least he took blame for it. But a stupid move from Jim Sauter or Tim Sauter. I don't fucking know. I don't give a fuck about him either way. Basically, Johnny Sauter's father for being an absolute cockhead on Twitter. But that's just basically Twitter as a whole, so I don't know why I'm even complaining. Lap 39, Spencer Boyd stalls on track. Lap 50, Zane Smith wins stage 1. Lap 70, again, Spencer Boyd stalls on the track. But actually stopped on the track, but still same thing. Lap 79, Lois Allen and Tate Fogelman makes contact. Lap 100, Ben Rhodes wins stage 2. Lap 109, I do not remember, I can't remember his first, oh, wait, no, Kalen Honeycutt spins off the contact with Austin himself. He was riding the number 46 Glory to God racing truck. Lap 133, so Friesen spins off the contact with Christian Eckes. Lap 157, JT Little spins off the contact with Tate Fogelman, which Chris Wright was also involved in. And lap 200, William Byron wins the Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief 200 while Haley Deegan and Lois Allen confronts each other. I'll try maybe find a video on that. If I can't, then I apologize. But basically, I can't remember actually what happened between them. I think it was just some contact, or, you know, Deegan got moved by Allen or some shit. I don't know what happened, I'll be honest. But definitely caused a bit of a, you know, a bit of a commotion, a bit of an argument between Deegan and Allen. And obviously, if you haven't heard already on Twitter, basically, a very obsessive fan of Haley Deegan threatened to kill her boyfriend, which is incredibly fucked and screwed up. But either way, I think it's a great job that Deegan obviously dealt with it and still ran the race. I think this also happened in Coda as well. I just forgot to mention it at Coda. But Deegan obviously being very strong and just racing, just continuing to race. I mean, the behind the scenes actions going on in her private life. I do hope the fan, the very obsessive fan of hers, basically gets, I don't know, fucking not really arrested, but just maybe arrested or just something. Basically, just removing him from the eye of people on social media, because that is completely fucked, and no one should be threatening anyone's life, especially a NASCAR driver who is a female. But that's the truck series all done, and here's obviously the other drivers who finished outside of the top 20. So not really big ones. It's Caden Honeycutt. That's my bad. Not Kalen Honeycutt. That's my bad. There's Chris Wright, then Spencer Boyd, I think, is also down here. Maybe I'm just, oh yeah, there he is, hitting 33rd. Yeah, electrical issues, some other stuff as well. Yeah, that's all I can really say. But that's Truck Series all done. Let's now move on to the Xfinity Series. Now, Xfinity Series, for some reason, is a bit fucked, as you can tell. I cannot click to download the PDF. So you kind of have to deal with this very small print unless... There you go. I know this is a bit of annoying, but just deal with it, please. I can't really do anything about it. But for the Xfinity Series, I was won by Brandon Jones. The second place to him, Landon Castle, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Hill, Sam Mayer, Riley Herbst, Ryan Truex, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Sieg, and Jeremy Clemens ran out the top 10. Then Dale Earnhardt Jr., Parker Retzlaff, Daniel Hemrick, Anthony Alfredo, Alex LeBay, Kyle Weatherman, Bailey Curry, Matt Mills, Josh Berry, and Noah Gregson ran out the top 20. Failed to qualify. A total of 5 drivers failed to qualify. Ryan Ellis, Ronnie Bassett Jr., Chad Fincham, Josh Williams, and Harrison Rhodes. And 5 drivers as well went to the road due to unapproved adjustments. Noah Gregson, Derek Griffith, Kyle Weatherman, Howie DeSavano III, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. So lap 1, Brendan Poole smokes heavily. And then back over to the caution. Lap 14, Brendan Moffitt goes to the garage due to transmission issues. Lap 39, DeSavano III is stopped on the track. Lap 60, Ty Gibbs wins stage 1. a lot of stuff happened in the Xfinity series if you couldn't tell. Lap 73, Jade Buford spins off the contact with Joe Graf Jr. and once again he made contact with someone else, Stephen Parsons, on lap 102, who also ended up spinning. Joe Graf Jr. is basically Brian Vickers. I think Black Lives Matter tweeted out that Joe Graf Jr. has contracted Vickerism, which is basically it basically is like you crash to a lot of people, but you crash a lot of people off and you spin a lot of people at Martinsville. Basically, a reference to 2011 Brian Vickers. If you haven't seen the race, I can't remember. I think it's the second Martinsville race. If you haven't seen it, you, you can watch it at your risk. But it's basically he just kept crashing to everyone. Lap 115, Derek Griffith spins, gets spun out by Anthony Alfredo. Lap 120, Brandon Jones wins stage 2. Lap 157, Justin Allgaier gets into the wall after wheel hopping. Lap 166, Ryan Truex gets spun out by Alex Labay. Lap 172, Josh Berry loses a tie after contact with his boss, Dale Earnhardt Jr., which I find it pretty funny. Lap 179, Matt Mills and Natalie Decker spun out in their own separate places. And I think Matt Mills spun on turn 3. I have no idea by the hell Natalie Decker spun. Lap 221, Stephen Parsons loses brakes. Lap 230, Daniel Hemrick loses a tire and spins. Earnhardt and Sieg make contact, and Sieg's rear bumper rips off. Lap 237, Jay Buford spins. Lap 243, Dale Earnhardt Jr. spins after contact with Josh Berry. They're going to have a very friendly meeting, but I'm going to guess after that. Oh, the big one, lap 251. Stan Mayer spins the tires on the restart and collects Noah Gragson, and that's a roadblock on the front stretch. Alex Labate, Justin Allgaier, Billy Curry, Noah Gragson, Brandon Brown, Jeff Burton, Mason Massey, Stephen Parsons, Stan Mayer, Derek Griffin, and Parker Retzlaff all involved. I'll show you a video of it. I actually watched this live. I watched it on Twitch actually, which is interesting, but it was mayhem. That race as a whole was mayhem, and it's gonna go crazier after this. But just that wreck basically shows how crazy the Xfinity race was. And when we get to the Cup Series race, it was not even close to that because it was boring as hell. But I'll get to more of that when we get to the Cup Series. But the Xfinity series as a whole race was crazy, and that crash basically just self-explanatory. It's just incredibly self-explanatory. It's just that just happens, and there's definitely it gives off vibes of the 2017 Martinsville playoff race when that was a big roadblock coming to the finish. But yeah, I mean, Sam Mayer spun his size up and just kind of misjudged it, and yeah. But that's all it. Because on lap 261, yes, Brandon Jones wins the Core 811 before you dig 250, powered by Core811.com. However, behind when all that was happening on turn 4, Sam Mayer basically just runs Ty Gibbs up into the wall. Basically just shoves him out of the way. That's completely normal. I mean, he did that to John Hunter Nemechek in Richmond for the win. However, on pit road, they started fighting. It kind of all escalated when, after the race, Ty Gibbs, he's a bit stupid, I'll be honest. I don't know why he would do this, but he just hit Sam Mayer after the race on the backstretch. I don't know why he would do that, but he did. It's a bit stupid. And another coward thing that he also did was, they started fighting, throwing punches. I obviously show the video when I'm talking about this. Fighting, punching, blah, 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 shoving. The key thing that he did not do was take off his freaking helmet off. He didn't take off his helmet. So basically, he was much more of a coward, and rightfully so. The fans started booing him. And the Iceberg made a great video on why Ty Gibbs is hated so much now, because when he's winning a lot and he's done some stupid things. He's basically mid 2000s, early 2010s Kyle Busch. He's basically now the new Kyle Busch, and Ty Gibbs is definitely making a name for himself of I don't know, being a hypocrite, because obviously he bumped John Hunter Nemechek out, which he thought he was fine, And then when someone else bumps it out of the way, he fights him. And he doesn't take off his helmet because he's a dumbass. He's a pussy. But, whatever. I mean, that's just... I mean, hopefully... I mean, apparently after the race, they were all fine after that, but... Ty Gibbs has not gotten any fans after that. They've mainly now become enemies, and Sam Mayer has gotten a lot of fans now. So, that's the Xfinity race all done. It was a crazy race, let's just say that. Let's now move on to the Cup Series, and that was actually here are the other drivers. So we got, who else do we have? So there's Justin Allgaier, who did not have a good run. Sheldon Creed also didn't have a good run. And there's Brennan Poole, Brendan Moffat, Brandon Brown, everyone else who was going to involve in the accident. All that other stuff. So, that's really about it for Xfinity Series. Let me just put this up to normal. Let's now move on to the Cup Series, and that was won by William Byron. Yes, he basically now has 2 grandfather clocks, which is very interesting. Second place in was Joe Logano, then Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain in that beautiful GoPro paint scheme that basically I almost lost to. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, Chase Briscoe, and Chase Elliott round out the top 10. Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, Kevin Harvick, Chris Busch, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, and Christopher Bell in that Yahoo paint scheme get into the top 20. No one went to the rear and no one failed to qualify. I'll show you why this was incredibly boring. Lap 80, Chase Elliott wins stage 1. Lap 180, Chase Elliott wins stage 2, while Suarez bumps him to try to get his lap back, one of his 2 laps back. Lap 313, debris. Lap 394, I'm actually going to put this up because this is like the only interesting thing that happened. Todd Gilliland loses a tire. That's legit it. That's all that happened. It's just after Byron won in the most boring race of the season. And it was in freaking Martinsville. What the fuck? I don't understand. It was that boring. So I guess I guess I need to do some things with the Gen 8 cars. I guess we'll say this generation car will pull, maybe some difficulties in short track racing. I think super speedways are fine, road courses fine, intermediates are fine. Short tracks, yikes! And we'll see how they also go on dirt, which is gonna be really interesting. But I am very worried about this. If it's like this for the next Bristol race or the next Martinsville race or the next other short track races, and that's going to be a bit of an issue. But yes, that's about it. And here's the other drivers who finished outside of the top 20. There's Truex down in 22nd place. Hamlin's down 28th place. Suarez in 29th. And Todd Gilliland that I mentioned 30th. That's really about it. Legit, nothing else happened in this race. It was incredibly boring. Even though I didn't watch it, but as I've been seeing on Twitter, very, very, very boring. Let's now move on to the standings. First off with the Truck Series, and Ben Rhodes is in the lead, 4 points to the clear from Chandler Smith. Then Zane Smith, Stuart Friesen, John Hunter Nemechek, Christian Eckes, Tanner Gray, Ty Majeski, Matt Crafton, and Tyler Ankrum ran out the top 10. Then Derek Kraus, Carson Hocevar, Grant Finger, Matt Benedetto, Austin Ryan Self, Timmy Hill, Chris Wright, Tate Fogelman, Lawless Allen, and Chase Purdy ran out the top 20. This is what the playoffs looks like, so we know that Zane Smith and Chandler Smith are automatically locked in. I'm going to say that a lot in the next couple weeks. Splitting them actually first and third. Second place, Ben Rhodes and Chandler Smith. Then John Hunter Nemechek, Stuart Friesen, Christian Eckes, Tanner Gray, Ty Majeski, Matt Craft, and Tyler Ankrum ran out the playoff picture in top 10. Xfinity. AJ Allmendinger is 20 points in front of Ty Gibbs. Then third place, Noah Gragson, Brennan Jones, Josh Berry, Sam Mayer, Justin Allgaier, Daniel Hemrick, Ryan Sieg, Austin Hill ran out top 10. Then Riley Herbst, Landon Castle, Anthony Alfredo, Brandon Brown, Sheldon Creed, Jeff Burton, Brent Moffitt, Jeremy Clements, Alex LeMay, and Myatt Snyder ran out the top 20. For the playoff picture, we know that Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, and Brandon Jones, and Austin Hill as well, have locked themselves into the playoffs. In fifth place, behind Gibbs, Allmendinger, Gragson, and Jones, is Josh Berry, then Hill, then Sam Mayer, Daniel Hemrick, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Sieg, Landon Castle, and Riley Herbst right now the top 12 playoff picture for Xfinity. Then the Cup Series, Chase Elliott is 3 points in front of Ryan Blaney and a further 12 points in front of William Byron, who's third place. In fourth place, we got Joe Logano, then Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman, Mark Truex Jr., Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, ran out top 10. Chase Briscoe in 11th, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Christopher Bell, and Chris Buescher ran out the top 20. For the playoffs, we know that William Byron, Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, and Austin Cindric are in the playoffs. In second place, behind Byron, is Chase Elliott, then Ryan Blaney. Behind Chastain and Bowman is Joe Logano and Mark Truex Jr. Then behind Hamlin, Larson, Briscoe, and Cindric is Almirola, who's in 12th place. Then Kevin Harvick, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, and Austin Dillon right now the top 16 in the playoffs. So that's really about it for today's video. Just a reminder that the next race is at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Bristol Dirt Race for Cup and Trucks. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys all next time in the next one. Goodbye.